I got
technical difficulties.
Technical difficulties.
Momentarily.
Hold on.
now, and you might also have to just flip it when it comes on. The system here, hold on.
Let me.
Technical difficulties. Pardon.
Go away.
Go away.
Sometimes I just find I have to like tell it to switch, and there we go.
Okay.
Oh my god! Push the button.
All right.
Hey.
There we are.
We're here.
Whoa.
Oops, no, not just me, please. No, thank you.
We exist. We're here. Ta-da! Ta-da! We made it.
Technical difficulties.
Technical difficulties are always fun. Always fun.
Is that the new group joke? Technical difficulties?
With life or just...
I mean, just in general.
Yeah.
I could do that.
Technical difficulties.
Welcome
Just
to
like sperm
episode
whales.
6.
Technical difficulties.
You're starting early.
Sorry.
Okay.
Oh, inside jokes.
Inside joke.
Oh! Sorry, that was my water bottle falling over. Because I tapped it.
Technical difficulties.
That's my middle name at this point. I swear.
Yeah, fair enough.
My middle name is Fuck.
For which reason?
All of them. Just all of them.
All
just
of
like,
them.
but it has the expression of fuck. I think that covers most.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, hello.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon and good evening.
Merry Sunday.
Oh, yeah, it is Sunday. My brain is not functioning.
I'm just gonna turn around. Goodbye, Kate.
We cannot
We're
be
doing
this...
another episode without Kate today. She just decided to leave.
I just was like...
She pieced out.
We can't be
Bye,
this
Kate.
giggly at the very beginning, girls. I'm not going to make it. Just not.
It's
Well,
one of those weeks.
It is. It, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Welcome to episode 6.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking about more mom stuff.
Yeah, it's the month of mom.
Month of mom. Oh, that's
Beautiful! Hey!
We can have month of mom and then Anna month.
Anna month. Yeah, I like
There
that.
you go.
Yeah, there we go.
That's nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So,
I know you guys prepped. I did not prep
That's okay.
much.
I will say I did not prep that much. This
That's
week
fine.
was busy and I was exhausted.
well, that's okay. I
feel
wrote this like
that.
5 minutes before in the car when I was sitting waiting.
Best way to do it, you know?
Yeah.
Procrastination. That's how I got through all of high school, you know?
Mm.
That's how I
Procrastinate
got
the
through
essays
college.
and write them, you know, all at the last
College.
minute.
That's how I get through life.
You know? Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Procrastinate and then brute force your way through. You know, it works out well.
But that's why my middle name is, well, fuck.
Yeah.
That's how I get through life. Like my car's check engine light came on
On
the way here. It just had his oil changed and filters changed. It wasn't on this morning when we were driving around. And that was the exact expression I had. Well, fuck. Now I gotta go deal with
I had
that.
that problem, and it was my
have, like,
emissions.
Do you have a code checker?
No, it's like the actual, just the check engine light. So
Yeah, I
don't-
know, but like there's a code checker that you can plug into your car and it'll tell you what the check engine light is on there for.
Well, at least tell you what system it's linked to.
Hmm.
So, and you can get them, I've heard, for fairly inexpensive.
Yeah, my dad has one. I don't know how much they cost. Mine comes on. I just go to my dad's house and he's like, "Okay, I'll check it."
Also, if you're ever like at a time where you need to, have your oil changed or whatever, I know Valvoline has one.
Oh, I
and
did.
they'll do
I
it
was
right
just there. That's just it. I was there literally
Yeah.
last week,
Yeah.
and it wasn't on.
Yeah.
Because I had mine
Well, then
turn
go
on, and I
back
was
to
like,
him
well, I'm
and be
also
like, "Yo,
due."
what's up?"
That's a good point. I could.
Yeah, I go there to have them like fill my tires all the time.
That's true. I don't think it's my tires.
No, that's a different light. But I
Yeah.
do it because my tires are. I've got one that has a slow leak, and I just don't
Our
have the
back
money
left
to.
did. We got that
yeah.
fixed.
I don't
Yeah.
have the money for that right now.
Right. We just did a home kit.
What is he after over there?
I don't know. He's kind of in a void of a blob sniffing the ground.
I know, but he was like pawing at something and then not pawing at it, but not like scratching. I don't know. He's a
I
weirdo.
see nothing.
Okay.
But then again, I'm blind enough to require glasses, so
I think all of us are. I have contacts, so we're all blind.
yeah, I just don't
Yep.
have the energy to put in contacts in the morning.
I can't do the little space in between the glasses. I get headaches.
That's fair. That's fair.
Anyway, Who wants to go first for story? Should I go? I almost never go first. Probably I should go.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't have one.
You don't have one.
I'm trying to think if I
story.
do. Kachan is, good gosh, just this kid is the epitome of his alibi.
Nickname. Yeah.
Just holy shit, man. Just I do love that kid so much, but he is Kachan to a T. And it's
the right
scary.
Name.
It's just wow. Deck is doing great and talking more and doing awesome. He's doing awesome, but Kachan is just being Kachan and just being explosive for every little thing. Just asking him to go and like pick something up, or he's definitely staring at something.
He pounced on it.
Oh, I think it's empty space. I'll take a look in a second. But Katsuki is being Katsuki and explosive as heck. All right, your turn. Let me go check to see what this cat is doing.
Might be a spider or something. I don't know.
Well, if it's a spider, we're screwed because I hate spiders.
If it's a spider, then we go get Nick.
There is a bug.
What is it?
I don't know. I'm scared.
Do you want a flashlight?
Yes, please. Someone hand me my phone. Or a phone.
Here you go.
Oh, yay! There is a bug. Good hunting.
What is it?
Kind sir. Move your booty. I don't know. It walked away.
Nitro, what did you find?
Where did it go?
See, this is why
technical difficulties. The cat found a bug.
Oh, it's a roly-poly.
Oh, a roly-poly. Why is there a roly-poly in my house?
I don't know, but there is a... Excuse me, sir.
They like to make their way through anything, so...
I found a roly-poly. That's okay. I'll pick up the roly-poly.
See, if it were my black cat, she'd just eat it after playing with it.
It is a roly-poly.
I'm going to put him in the garbage. Yes?
You could even go in my toad tank.
That's true.
Yeah.
Wherever. I don't care. You pick out where you want to put that roly-poly. Not in a bowl! The garbage or the toad tank, but a bowl?
But, okay.
I want to eat out of that later, and then it would have touched bugs.
Do you know you eat like 8 spiders within
I don't care! I don't want my bowl to touch bugs.
Just listen, I was going to put him in the bowl and then put him in the toad tank after our stream.
Or we could just call Nick down.
Nick!
Get this bug.
Tell Nick to come down and get the bug.
Oh, this poor bug.
Should name our bug.
He's only got one want to name it. You know what? We'll name it Toadbait.
Toadbait. I don't know if you can see. It's this.
We have a predicament. Can you come get this bug? He needs to go in the toad tank. He's a roly-poly. But Amy wanted to put it in a bowl, and I don't want it in a bowl.
I have a logical reason for putting it in the bowl.
Thanks.
New guest star, Nick.
New guest star, Nick, after Toadbait. Yeah.
After Toadbait.
Toadbait,
Someone else
Nick.
say this.
Hey, that means Toadbait's our first guest. Yeah.
Say your story.
My story, I got, I guess, 2 little funny things.
Oh.
They're very small. This morning I was laying in bed and I was like, well, I had to end up texting Zach because I was like, I think little Sylvian's not too far off from, doing the alien kick out your stomach. Because I kid you not, this child pushed up against the right side of my abdomen, and so like this whole side just felt like super firm because like it was like her back was against the whole thing.
There you go.
So
Nitro caught it.
Yeah.
He's our first guest. His name is Toadbait.
Yeah.
Goodbye, Toadbait.
So yeah,
anyway.
she just like pressed really hard up against like my side, and I was like, squish, not squish, squish, not squish. Just because she was pushing so hard there. So I mean that was kind of cool. Mm-hmm. I guess the only other fun little thing that I had was that I had my OB visit on Thursday, and while we were at the visit, the nurse midwife was putting the Doppler on, and literally you'd hear like the briefest sound of like a heartbeat, and then she'd turn away. from
She
the
is
Doppler.
determined. She
She's
knows
by
what she
it.
wants.
She's like, no,
Bye,
thank
later
you.
days.
Mm.
She's already that determined,
Yeah.
and she isn't even done baking.
Literally, even when like the CNM was doing like measuring like my fundal height, she was like, I can feel you moving in there, ma'am. So like, she loves to move, and I have a feeling that she will continue to love to move after being born.
You're gonna be running.
I'm gonna
You're
have
gonna
an
be running
active
real
child.
soon.
Mm-hmm.
Yup.
Good. She can help me lose weight post birth.
You'll have to go
So.
on walks.
Yeah, that's what I want.
Naruto and I go on walks a lot, as often as we can. Usually daily when it's nice out, when it's not cold.
I should start doing that.
It is so nice.
Well,
I think I don't because it's 2 against 1.
Shove them in a stroller,
Have a
give them
wagon.
lunch, and then walk. That's what I do. So sometimes we'll do walking lunches when I'm like, I just need a break, but it's not nap time, and you are too much.
Mm-hmm.
So fresh air is going to help. So then I just shove him in the wagon, give him some toys and a lunch, and then I put in an audiobook and grab like a protein shake and some water, and then we just walk for half an hour, 45 minutes, you name it. And even by the end of that, he's already like, no, I don't want to go home.
Fair.
He still doesn't want to go home. It's great. Take a mini jaunt to the park.
You know,
good to go.
if Kachan doesn't act like Kachan, I'll consider it.
well, one good thing for me is I can say I do now own a stroller too.
This is true.
Because not because I bought it, but because Amazon likes to let you know when people buy things off your registry.
Aw, nice.
And so the system, the whole like travel system that I wanted was purchased. So I was
Nice.
like, that'll be super cool.
That's awesome.
So
Those things cost a lot too.
yes, it's an even flow one too. So
Those are really
Oh,
nice.
those are nice.
yeah,
My sister got
I can
that for
even pull
hers.
it up.
Does it have the car seat?
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, nice. Because the one thing that I didn't realize about my even flow until after my kiddo was too big for it is the fact that the like bucket of the stroller itself detaches, and you can just literally take the car seat, like the baby carrier, and snap it in there.
Yeah, that's what I do with
I
mine.
didn't know that.
That's the
I
only
had
reason we got what we got.
No idea. I thought you just put, because there was a way to snap it into the bucket.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize the whole bucket
Oh,
came off.
that is the only reason we got the Chico brand, because it's a simple click. You lift, click into the stroller, lift, click into the car.
Yeah, no,
So
mine
easy.
did that too. I just had no idea until my kiddo
That
outgrew the car
Really
seat.
sucks. I'm so sorry.
I'm like, that would have been so simple.
So
Nope.
they ended up getting me like a rain cover, a mosquito net, but this
Oh
is
my God.
the actual stroller.
Oh, hey, that looks.
yeah.
That's the one that I have.
I think it's not clicking on it. Whatever,
Ooh.
same thing.
It's the one that I have. You're gonna love it.
Yeah,
I still
There we go.
use that sometimes.
they show it in other colors, but you know what? It's same difference. I got the black version.
That's the
Nice.
version that I
Yeah.
have, but that's pretty much the exact same stroller that I have.
Because you
Nice.
can also like put it in different ways. Shut up! I don't want to
Yeah.
share it right now.
So-
I'm sharing it physically in front of them.
This
Amazon.
is the version that I did not realize you could do. And getting it down to this is super easy. While I was on walks, when Naruto was like really tiny and sometimes would refuse to nap, I'd walk to get him to nap, and he'd fall asleep, and I could just transition that stroller from like sitting up.
See, that's
To
the
a
one thing I wish
laydown?
ours did. It doesn't do
Yeah.
that. I wish ours
I
did
could
that.
do it very slowly with like a click of the button right in front of me, and he wouldn't even know. You put a blanket over the top, move it down, and he's still passed out in a
Nice.
stroller. Yeah, it was great.
I just also love the fact that it goes up to 50 pounds. So that's a pretty long use for a product.
Deku is not even 50 pounds yet.
Yeah.
I couldn't even say that Carter's. Dang it! I did both. My brain is not here.
It's okay. I've done Naruto's
Both
a
my
couple
kids
times.
are probably not 50 pounds. Kachan
yeah, like,
is
I know-
probably close.
I know
but
Naruto's not 50
No,
pounds yet.
last
So
time I
knowing that I
weighed-
can go probably at least 2 years with that stroller is.
Last time I weighed him,
Solid.
he was like 30, maybe.
I mean, unless she decides to be a giant baby, I don't know.
I'm
But
sure what
he
Deku
hadn't
is.
pooped yet that day, so sorry, motherhood. Yeah,
Yeah, I don't
You know, poop weighs things.
It
It
does.
weighs.
it does.
It weighs.
It does.
They say as an adult you probably have about a pound of it in you at any given time.
That makes me sad.
So take your weight and minus a pound because that's
You know,
healthy.
I'm going to -2 to feel better about myself.
I can take my weight minus, probably 2 now, and it's just baby, so.
Yeah, that's true.
Fair.
True.
I don't weigh as much. No, but yeah, those kind of were my little stories. Yeah.
We took Naruto to a hockey game.
How was that?
He loved it. He loved it. It was one at the local colleges. My dad announces for them. So then he got to go down to like the announcing booth, and then he got to sit in the timeout box, and then he got whatchamacallit, a hockey puck.
Nice.
While he was there. And I had to go to bed with him last night. And then he dropped it on his face, and that was some crying, but he still had to have it in bed with him.
Oh, I'm sure.
While we went to bed. So, yep. Plus sentences. We've moved on from just learning new words alone to now we're saying sentences. Like,
that's great.
Mom's car, Dad's car, Mom eat, Dad eat.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Deco can just say ready, set, go.
Ready, set, go.
I mean, it's better.
Yeah.
It's important.
Yep. That's his only sentence is ready, set, go.
That's an important skill to have.
It
though.
really is.
Now you just need to get him to announce for like track and field. Ready, set, go.
Think of how cute that would be, though.
I don't know if he says ready. He says set, go. So he can't say ready, but he says the other half. It's fine. But we know what he's saying.
That's cute.
The kids in track and field would get it.
Set, go.
It's like he waits. Like he's supposed to wait. Like we're supposed to wait. He'll just wait, and it's usually with a ball. You go like set. And I'm like. And he'll go instead of throwing forward. He'll go go. So he's trying to play, but he throws the ball backwards. It's hilarious.
Oh, we don't do a lot of that at our house. It's just a lot of running. Like one of Naruto's favorite games is we sit on the couch and we say, ready, set, go, and then, or 3, 2, 1, go, and then he'll run, and you have to count. You have to count until he gets back. And then he gets back and you stop counting. Yep, that's a big game. Mm-hmm.
That's a great game. That's one where you get to sit there.
Yeah, I
he
know.
just runs out.
Any game where I don't have to move is beautiful.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Or hide. I love hide.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's a good one.
That's a good one. There's a lot of chasing around that middle island upstairs too. Oh my god. Yeah, that hallway that goes in a circle. So many chases. With or without riding a broom or a sword, yes. That is another new game.
What animes are you guys watching?
Ooh.
So I am disappointed to say I did not watch any anime this week.
Oh no!
I am so
It's
disappointed in
okay.
myself, but I was having really bad back problems the whole week, and
That's hard to sit there and watch TV with.
Seems like some Braxton Hicks stuff.
It's honestly, it's not even I don't think it's Braxton Hicks. I guess I don't. Even if it was Braxton Hicks is probably not strong enough for me to really realize it at this point. Anyway, but the pain in my mid back, specifically on the left side, is where I have the problem. I actually spent last night taking part of my pregnancy pillow and having it underneath my my hips, essentially. So that I could, or my actual waist, so that I could sleep on my side more comfortably without my back hurting like hell.
Fair enough.
So, I tried asking.
Are you drawing toad bait?
Yeah.
I thought she was drawing a penis with ears.
I have to fiddle.
That's fair.
That's the other reason why I have the paper now.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
I thought it was a
it's either that or doing this. So.
Well, the last time I looked, it was just this.
Well, Toadbait only had one antenna.
I did not notice that Toadbait only had one antenna.
He only had one.
He only had Probably one. Nitro's fault.
Probably. But yeah.
I went to Pete. It's where I went. That's where my brain goes.
With you two, I'm not surprised.
I had a feeling you would say something, but I was trying to draw it so it didn't look like a penis. I'm not going to show it until it's all done either.
Hey, I figured out what it was.
That's good. Your brain is not as dirty as ours.
No, it isn't.
No.
No.
I love you guys anyway, so.
I did start watching another anime. It's called So I'm a Spider, So What?
Okay.
So it's an isekai, so
And
I'm a bit iffy because I'm not a huge fan of isekais.
I don't mind them, but I feel like they've been overdone at this
They
point.
really are.
Mm.
But I've seen so many good things about it,
Okay.
and that's usually how I do it. So it's this entire classroom has been like blown up, is where it starts. Like this classroom, you don't see faces, you hear voices, but all of a sudden it's like a bomb went off, and then one of them it focused on this girl who's been turned into a spider, and she's like very into video games and stuff, and she goes through her stats, and it's all about her leveling up. And we find out that this entire class has also moved into this world, but some of them are people, some of them aren't, but we don't know. All we know is about, like, I say you see about 6 classmates and then her, and it was pretty good. But then it started getting into the isekai of like, well, my stats need to be this. I'm like, I'm done. It's like, I don't need to sit here and listen to your stats and stuff. But I think the cool thing that they barely touched on is that the classmates are asking about the other classmates. And the teacher's there, and the teacher, who's an elf in this, is trying to find everybody. And they found most of them. 4 of them she can't find. 4 of them she knows where they are but haven't met, and she says those people have died, including the spider one. And what I realized is that these guys, although have come back to the same world, are on different periods of time in this world. Because in one of the episodes, another person has killed this white spider, this very large white spider. And the teacher has said that that person has died, who turned into a spider. Even though, okay, so let me try to clarify. So she came back as this she came back as this little tiny spider.
Yeah.
In another episode, this group of guild members comes in to defeat a giant white spider. After that, the next episode, they ask about this girl, and they said that she's died. So what I'm thinking is that the spider, the girl who's a spider, was that giant spider, got killed, and now there's this timeline. At least that's what I'm thinking, but it was too confusing and too stupid. I gave up. It was one of those ones I tried, and it was awful, so I left.
I'm still watching the same ones, although I had to rewatch the episodes twice this week because the first time I tried to watch them, I fell asleep, like 5 minutes in.
Fair.
Poor Nick. He's had to rewatch them. But
At least he's a trooper in watching them with you.
Yeah. Even though I'm falling asleep. He's like, I didn't realize you fell asleep that quickly in. And I'm like, I didn't either. I thought it was halfway through. And he's like, no, it's literally like 5 minutes from the start of the show. And I'm like, oops, sorry.
Oh no!
Oopsie daisies.
Uh-oh.
I've also just been reading a lot.
Oh, yeah. Audiobooks.
I'm sorry. I still am upset.
I shifted slightly on the chair, and he was standing on top, and he was like, no.
I stayed up till 12:30 this morning reading and finishing, and I was so pissed when I was done.
Yep, you told me about that.
Yeah.
I didn't fall asleep till 2 a.m. because I was just so distraught and upset. I was like,
it's a good book then.
It is.
Yeah.
Okay, I did not like the 250 pages of just pure bullshit in the middle.
That's fair. But if
it was
an
kind
author,
of filler, yeah.
It was a lot though.
If an author can make you feel that much, it's still a good book.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
It reminded me of ACOTAR, and that's why I was about to just be like, no. It
Yeah.
was a real struggle for me to keep like doing it. But again, like the last 50 pages were really good, but that all the before I'm talking about Iron Flame, by the way. The part where they're at the revolutionary place, wherever they are. One, there was like 20 new names.
Spoilers if you haven't read it.
That's true. There was like 20 new names, and I can't remember 20 like new and differently spelled names for what was going on. And I was like, and this place, and I had to go back and forth to the map, and I'm like, I don't understand where everything
listened
is.
to it. I didn't have a map.
It's very confusing.
Yeah.
And it got to the point where like, oh, we're going back. I'm like, cool. Now there's something happening that I need to pay attention to. But those 250 pages of filler were just like,
Maybe I might be alone in this, but I kind of wish when authors described like a new place, like a new we're traveling to this other place, that there was a map inserted that time.
Yes.
Like, yes, I love the one big map so you can kind of understand things at the very front of the book, but I don't want to have to turn back to the front of the book all the time to find it.
In this book, I just assumed everything is white and surrounded by mountains. That was my brain. I know that that's not the truth, but that's what my brain thought.
Fair enough.
But, like, even if it's just like, oh, like, you know, like, it's a little snippet, like, you can see, like, okay, this is the, you know, the main, like, let's say it's the U.S., like, you get, like, a tiny little snippet of from, like, Texas to Mexico, because they're going to Mexico City or something. Like, you just get, like, a tiny map that is like, here you go. This is where they're going.
Or, like,
publishers
have a map at the
take
beginning.
note if there's anybody.
Have a map at the beginning of the full thing.
Yeah.
But then,
Big
like,
detailed map.
where you are when they mention something, like, at the... or at the beginning of the chapter, or even at the
Yeah,
end. Like,
yeah.
here's where we are. This is what we talked about. And then they add to it over time so they know
Like,
where we're going.
So many people do those little, like there's a little bit, like a little picture or a little quote at the start of the chapter. Why not just put the map there?
Yeah.
Again.
See, that would make it so much easier.
Yeah. Well, because, like, I know personally for me, I read a lot of my books on my phone through the Kindle app. So, like, it's harder to flip back to the first
That's true.
page.
I didn't even think about
So-
it for those people.
Yeah.
I have a Kindle too, trying to be better about reading it, but I keep forgetting it upstairs instead of leaving it by my bed. Because my whole goal is to have it by my bed, and then I don't doom scroll at the end of the night. I read.
I
But-
always do scroll.
Then I bring it upstairs, and then I forget it up there because I set it away so kiddo doesn't get a hold of it, because he would probably want to draw on it, and I really don't want that. No. But I mostly just listen to books. Because I can listen to them when we go on walks. I listen to them when I'm at work because I bake in the morning, so I show up before everybody else is. So, you know, I get at least an hour of listening before anybody else shows up, and then I listen until, like, partway through my shift. So I am a primary audiobook person, and I just chew through books that way, but, you know.
I did try to start the novella for Akatar. I gave up after the first
Oh,
chapter.
I gave up partway through, too. I still have yet to finish it.
I was like, this is stupid.
I mean, honestly, I will probably go back and read it at some point, but I'll be honest, I don't know. You get most of the information from that in the next book. Not, like, laid out simply, but you get the information
Was this
still,
the one
so,
where
yeah.
it's like the winter solstice.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's the funny part about that. I read it just because of the fact that I bought the whole 5-book series, and it actually just forces you to go through the whole thing. So, like, I didn't even really realize I was in a separate book.
Oh, yeah, no.
So,
Yep.
yeah.
It's a separate book, but you do get most of that
I was like-
information in the next one.
I was like, this kind of feels like essentially the Avatar Tales of Ba Sing Se, but like
It pretty
Avatar.
much is. It's like a palate cleanser between, like,
Yeah.
That's what I
distress
got.
and distress. It's the palate cleanser,
And
but
that-
I wasn't prepared for a palate cleanser. I just wanted to go from distress to distress.
Yeah.
Sorry. Give me emotional turmoil, thank you.
I feel like the last book though in that series. Like,
Don't
the-
tell me I haven't read it.
I'm
Nope.
not gonna spoil anything, but in my personal opinion, I feel like
It had
the
a
conflict.
different feel than most of the other ones.
Yeah, but like I
a
think that's
good
also
way.
I think you would enjoy it.
I know about the headboard scene, and that's why I'm looking most forward to. That I am well aware. I don't know enough about it, but I don't know the full thing. I know enough to want to read it.
Yeah.
That's about it.
I think you're gonna like this one best out of all of the Akatar books.
Okay.
But
Yeah. I mean, I think I do like the book still, don't get me wrong, but I felt like the resolution of the conflict was so like
Is this the last of this series, or is
Yeah.
there another one?
no,
Okay.
there's another one coming out afterwards.
oh, is there? So then
Yeah,
maybe
she's
that,
working on the next one.
Okay, so then
Ah.
that might be part of the reason then why
There's
it
a
feels so
lot of things I could tell you,
Please don't.
but I'm not going to.
I
The only
appreciate
thing I'm
that.
going to tell you is before the next Akatar book, you should probably read Crescent City.
Oh,
I would
That's
also
gonna be a hard way to convince
highly
me.
Crescent City is, I actually really like it. My favorite of hers was Throne of Glass, but I'm actually really enjoying Crescent City. And the latest book is just like, I mean, I'm
one that
sitting,
just came out.
that just came out. I'm sitting at work trying to like find a pause point so I can talk to my coworkers every once in a while, and I'm just like, reeling constantly. Like, it's nonstop action. Like, you know how the ends of her books are like, the last 100 pages is just like, what the fuck is happening? Mm-hmm. That's from the start. And I haven't found a pause, like a really good one.
Then I'll do that, but
I think you'll like.
I have been told
Crescent
I need
City.
to read all the books I have first before.
That's
I get
fine.
one.
That's fine.
And I've had my partner pick out my next book.
No, that's fine. I'm just saying, before the next ACOTAR comes out, which is currently being written, I would recommend those ones.
Gotcha.
I guess that makes sense that she is, though, moving to another one just because of the fact that there is more for her to resolve, more conflict to do.
There is. Have you read Crescent City?
I have not read Crescent City, but
you should. You'd understand, because I can't say anything for. Yeah.
Sorry.
I'll have to, but it's gonna be a little minute.
That's fine.
Like I just felt like in the last book though, that like her the conflict that we reached and then resolved was a small conflict.
It was
compared to generally like in the
rest
previous
of the stuff that we mentioned.
It's a big conflict in other books, and so it just felt kind of like
underwhelming,
slightly, a little bit abrupt, you know. A little,
that's because there's more coming.
Yeah, which makes sense, but then you like I wonder about the choice of where the books got divided. Then at that point, like, should there have been another conflict finished in that book? And then move to another one.
I felt like
there's things I want to say, but
Don't.
I can't. Mm-hmm. And I think it would make more sense to you if
I read Crescent
you
City.
read Crescent City.
Okay. I will.
But that's all I can say.
All right. I will have that. I will add that to my
all
list.
I can say is you have to read it. It's going to make so much more sense.
Okay.
So much more.
Okay. I will get there, I promise. Reading is actually a little bit easier for me to do right now than TV watching because
that's fair.
I can lay in a lot more positions.
That's fair.
I can't decide. I have a constant turmoil now of do I want to watch TV, play my Switch, or read. Like it's a constant thing.
I know. I'm having the same problem because it's like, I really want to play Baldur's Gate. I am stuck on that. But then at the same time, some nights I'm just too tired. I'm like, I'm not going to get anything done before I pass out. So then it's like, do I want to watch TV? What do I want to do? And then that's why, I had to rewatch a couple episodes this week. So.
Yeah, I'm just like, I'm getting home from work and I'm like, I hurt. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't realize how exhausted I am until I like park my car at my place and then like I'm like, I have to go up to the 3rd floor to get to my apartment. And then like, because there's no elevator in my building.
Get yourself an extra day off.
Yeah.
Take it from somebody who worked yourself into hypertension. Don't do that.
We're gonna talk about
Don't do that.
Here's the thing. So I actually now have gone to my boss, and Tuesdays will now be a regular day that I have off completely going forward.
Good.
Because I was like, I need to do that because I'm going to need to be able to put appointments on a particular weekday.
Yep.
And I like will struggle
Pete
with
and I
where
did
I
the
put
same
them.
thing.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Mine was Mondays.
Mine was Mondays too.
Well, and ultimately too, then that'll help me set up with a particular provider.
That too.
Because that's the other thing. I so far have not had the same provider for any of my visits, except for like what I did, with the IVF, just because of the fact that like I wanted to be able to try out other people,
Right.
but also because my schedule was so wonky that trying to like, it was wherever I could fit in. So, and I hadn't decided for a while if like I have the option with this facility of birthing with the OBs or birthing with the nurse midwives.
Right.
And I had to pick which one I wanted. And I was like, well, I've met my first one that I was with was a PA, and then I was with an OB, and then I've seen a CNM the last 2 times. So like now I just need to like finally decide who I ultimately want to be with.
Thanks, Mom.
You're welcome.
I think I figued out who I want to be with though. So, but
You'll
I
have to tell
have
me later.
one other person that I will be seeing at my next visit, which I'll also be doing my glucose test at. So.
Oh, that thing sucks.
Gross.
A glucose test is where you drink a nasty syrup, wait an hour, and then get tested.
I've been told
like
that the
really
syrup tastes
flat
better
pop.
in the fridge.
Really? I think it tastes like nasty
ugh.
Propel.
I thought it. Well, I had the lemon lime, and I thought it
They
tasted
gave
like
me the lemon lime too.
really thick, flat pop.
I can see
Okay.
that, yeah.
Yeah, like
So essentially, like
yeah.
when you go to like a fast food place and you can tell that they've put too much syrup with the
Yeah.
water.
Yes, but then they let it sit out overnight
Mm-hmm.
and then put it in the fridge after.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
kind of how
Definitely
it tastes
plug
like.
your nose and swallow.
Listen, I
You
learned
said that one yourself,
And it
okay?
did not register until it left my mouth.
It's okay. I've swallowed worse.
You know, me too.
Okay, we're going this way today, huh?
We already started at the beginning.
I just continued when I called her drawing a penis.
It does look like a penis, and I'm not
But
going
it
to show
looks,
it.
it does not look like a penis anymore.
It's not, though.
I'm not done, though.
It's the roly-poly we found.
It is a roller coaster, I swear.
Yeah. But no, so I mean, I'll have one other provider that I'll be seeing, and then I'll kind of like, but ultimately, I think the one that I do like is going to be one that's available on Tuesdays, so that'll work out really anyway.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Okay.
Hello.
Hello.
Should we get into it?
Yes.
I think so.
Okay.
Because we've kind of
We've-
dilly-dallied.
Like a
I mean,
lot.
always.
yeah.
We're going to talk about postpartum. We kind of touched on it a little bit, but I think it's good to... postpartum is the time that after you've given birth, all the way up until 2 years, technically, is what I found.
Okay.
So
I have no idea.
Really kind of depends
but
upon how you want to define it.
but it can be extended depending on the individual pregnancy. Correct me if I'm wrong, but so we're going to talk about that, and then I think it would be good. I know Peyton said she wasn't ready, and that's cool.
Well, I just didn't know.
That's fine. I figured you and I would talk and everything, and then at the end, since Kate is not yet there, that she could ask questions then about certain things.
Because
or stuff
ultimately,
like
what
that.
I'm looking at presenting is me kind of asking you guys questions too.
I think
anyway,
that's
so.
great.
Yeah.
So, and I think it would be good if you wanted to cover like the physical aspects, since you had a C-section and I did
Sure.
not, since that's something I didn't have to
Yeah.
really like.
Sorry, I'm looking up how long it lasts.
No, it's fine. Since I didn't really have to like
Well, I mean, I think that's one of
particularly
the.
deal with a huge like physical rehab
Yeah.
after, probably. So.
But I think that that'll be kind of the cool thing though too, because I get to have both of you. I get to see both sides of birth, because I don't know how she's gonna want to come out yet. We have no hopefully
that's
it's
true.
vaginally,
We
but
have
you know.
no idea. Always hope for that, but don't
Yeah.
be surprised about a C.
Yeah.
Okay, so it says that postpartum recovery can take anywhere from 6 to 8 weeks to 12 months to 2 years.
Ha!
It just depends upon the person.
Cool.
Yeah. That makes sense.
The person, the baby, the, pregnancy, because every single kid is different.
It's true.
And how your body reacts is different.
I mean, technically, you can count all the stuff from the last year as part of your postpartum then.
Oh my god, yeah, honestly.
Do you want to go then? For
No.
No. All right, I'll go. So I was just going to talk about the mental and emotional part of it. Since both of mine were natural births, or vaginal births, if you want to put it. That's probably a better way than the natural. No, I was drugged. Mine, my first one with Carter, emotional and mentally, I think I was in a better place as far as that, but I have a history of anxiety, depression, ADHD, now potentially autism, OCD, all of the above as far as that goes.
Just a fun mix.
Just a whole mix of stuff. And I know I was in a much better mental capacity when Kachan was born. There was other things going on that were not helping, but
you were mentally more prepared.
mentally more prepared because Kachan was planned to a certain extent.
Whereas Deku was not.
Deku was not. Still love him, but he was not. So
I mean, how many kids are? There's very few.
I mean,
you
one
have
benefit-
ours, kind
so
of, but
Kachan was more like, we're not trying,
you're also not
but we're
not
not
trying.
preventing either. And I'm not going to tell you the specifics of the day because it was hilarious. And that's a topic for after the video
That's a
is off.
non-podcast
That's a non-podcast talk. But because I was I would want to say more prepared and more ready for Kachan, it was a lot easier for me to bounce back.
Yeah.
When it comes to that. So emotionally, I was very more attached to Kachan. The emotions as far as that go were really good. I also didn't physically tear at all. Like, I only had to push twice, and he was out.
And then you just had a baby.
And I just had a baby. And it was fine. I didn't tear. I didn't poop myself. I didn't do anything. So, like, physically, it was also pretty good. And because I was more mentally prepared and ready, Kachan and I, at the beginning, had a closer bond and everything like that. Deku is a completely different story. I found out I was pregnant with Deku on Valentine's Day. And my heart sank. Like, I went into that pregnancy just bad. The mental state was way worse. The emotional, state I was in was way worse. And I won't go into super specifics of what caused that because it's not the place or the time. But all I can say, it was significantly worse than when I was pregnant with Kachan. And I did not have any attachment during that pregnancy. Like, just none. Because he was such a surprise, and I don't want to say it was my fault, but it was kind of because of me that I got pregnant. So
I don't know. He literally attached himself right to the edge of the chair and had his head up and over the side of the table.
like a monkey.
It was kind of funny, actually.
And then Cider probably backed him.
No, I reached down to see if I could support his butt so he could go up. And then he was like, no, I'm letting go. And then ran.
But yeah.
So the entire pregnancy, I was happy that I was going more smoothly than Kachan's was.
Yeah.
But I wasn't emotionally connected at all. Like, mentally either. Just not there because it was such a lower point in life and stuff like that. And I will say, even after, and this is a thing that you should know and not feel bad about, even after Deku was born, it was still an easier pregnancy. It wasn't as easy as Kachan's, but I still only had to push 3 times. I tore a little bit. I did poop my pants, but it was still easier. Even after Deku was born and put on my chest, I still didn't have an emotional connection to Deku.
Which does happen, even for parents who have an emotional connection during pregnancy, throughout the entire term. Sometimes the baby comes out and they hand the baby to the mom and they're like, what is this?
Oh, that was my
exact thought.
Exact thoughts. I was like, I don't know how to feel. I didn't hate him.
But you just didn't know.
I was just like, I don't know how to feel about you. I don't know what to feel or why I should feel the
more
way
like
I
a
do.
stranger than
Right.
what you are always led to expect when you have a baby.
I didn't have that. I didn't cry for either of my pregnancies when I was handed my kids. My partner did for Carter. I don't remember if he did for Deku, but I was definitely more overwhelmed and had this rush of emotion when Kachan was born versus when Deku was born. Deku, it was like, and I don't know if that's like a second pregnancy kind of thing, but it was, it wasn't there. And I did feel this rush of emotion. It was like, oh, there's a baby on me. And that sounds terrible. But I didn't feel that emotion or that rush of connection with Deku until honestly probably he was 2 months. Maybe even 3. I think it was probably the first time he got sick. Your kid's gonna get sick in a fever in 3 months. It's just gonna happen. I didn't feel it till then, where you're worried, even though it's just a typical fever. I think that was the first time I actually felt a connection to Deku. And now I have a stronger connection with Deku than I do with Kachan, which is just weird,
Yeah.
But I think it's important to understand that if you have a history of mental illness like I do,
you're more likely to have issues after
Yeah,
that.
And
that's why I'm kind of preparing myself a lot for, like, I don't know if I'll experience postpartum depression as much as I will experience postpartum anxiety.
You might
You
get
know-
both.
I might get
Yes.
both, but personally already having anxiety, like, I feel
Mhm.
like that's probably going to be something that's going to be bad for me.
Mm-hmm.
it
Like,
was really
it's-
bad,
mhm.
and mine is
Yeah.
still absolutely terrible, even with medication and stuff like
Mhm.
that. And the thing I can only say to that is that try to get a lot of stuff, not a lot, maybe that's not the word, try to get a grasp on some of it before.
Mhm.
And I don't mean you have to have all of your shit in a row and all of that stuff. No,
Mhm.
but try to eliminate as much outside environmental anxiety before.
Like, make sure your house is prepped. Make sure you've got, you know, some backup meals because you're going to be exhausted.
Yeah.
Well,
Make
that
sure you
was
got
one
some
of
other
my
stuff.
plans was
Yeah.
to make
Yeah.
backup meals.
Try to
beforehand,
eliminate
so.
any outside triggers or
Stressors, yeah.
stressors before.
Mhm.
Anything that's emotional or mental, I think the one thing that I had to constantly remind myself, because I shut down. I shut down from my partner, I shut down from my family, I shut down from a lot of
You-
stuff.
If you end up having a C-section,
Mhm.
you're going to need somewhere to go
Yeah.
Mhm.
because you cannot climb stairs after a C-section.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
Yeah.
something to keep in mind.
So I figure at that point, if we have to plan for that, I know that at that point I can either go to my mother's or like my grandparents.
Mm-hmm.
I'll have options there.
It's going to be a
But-
little while before you can climb stairs,
Yeah.
and it's probably going to be a little while before you feel comfortable sleeping in your own bed because they cut all of your abdominal muscles.
Mhm.
Sitting up is
Mhm.
impossible.
That's
Mhm.
unfortunate.
Yeah.
I didn't do it sitting up. I thought you were laying down.
Well, I slept in a chair.
Oh.
I slept in a recliner for months. Yep. And then
Well, because
even
normally
like
aren't you just kind of like
yeah,
angled
it's,
back.
it's right here. It's right
so,
here.
yeah.
So then I couldn't like properly pull myself up to sit
Yeah.
for the longest time.
Yeah.
Yeah, my core strength still isn't what it used to be.
Mhm.
And you know how strong I was.
Oh my god, you're a beast. Stronger than me.
I could
Jeez.
carry 90-pound dogs into the hospital with no issue, just like
Without
not
a
even
problem.
thinking.
Like, big ass dog. Where's Peyton? Someone wrestled this. I just
Yeah,
loved
no.
you. It was like an MMA fight every time. I was like, yeah, get him.
Oh, this dog's too scared, but they're 90 pounds. It's fine. I got them.
Oh, that's been one of the fun things lately too. Like I had a dog the other day, just putting on the brakes.
He just said hello. Hello. The toddler in the other room just said hello.
But the dog that I had was just like putting on the brakes, would just like sit down, lay down, did not want to move. And normally what I would do is I'd just go lift that dog and walk to the back. But now with how pregnant I am, I was like, I am not lifting like a dog who weighs like 95 pounds.
Yep.
That's not happening. Like we have to entice you or I have to get somebody else. Thankfully he eventually came. So
I
it was
think
fine.
physically, like they say, so physically they tell you can't do anything active for
Yeah.
6 weeks, and quite frankly, you won't want to, even
No.
after 6 weeks.
You feel like
And
poopy.
you and I are about the same as far as that goes, like libido-wise, I would think. You're not going to want to do anything for about 3 months, and that's okay.
That's pretty fair.
Even with a C-section.
Yeah.
Because your whole body is ouchy and you're exhausted.
You know, it's gonna sound funny, but like for the first, the first 3 months of pregnancy, we couldn't either. And it wasn't even one of those things where it was like, I could do something.
Right.
Because I had that hemorrhage at the beginning. I had a subchorionic hemorrhage. And so as a result, they were like, if you orgasm, like that's now spasming your entire uterine muscles and you will bleed more.
That
So
sounds awful.
Yeah. So essentially it was like, you cannot do any of those things. Like we've joked and talked about smut books that we all read.
I love smut.
Couldn't even do that.
I refused to read them during that time because I was like, if I do, that's gonna excite me, and then I might want to do something, and I can't do that. Granted, thankfully, during that time, I was also so tired that most of the time I wasn't really that worried about it.
You just pass out.
Mm-hmm.
But my husband's already had to deal with that, so he will understand
That's
that
good.
as well,
Yeah.
Which will end up being great.
Your partner's a very easygoing guy, so
Yeah.
I think
Mm-hmm.
I think
that's
it'll be okay.
fine.
Yeah. He's just like, I'll
Both
just let
of
you
you are
fall
gonna be
asleep and then I'll
exhausted.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
Both of you are
True.
going to be very tired.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think I know I talked about emotional and mental, but that definitely weighed more than the physical because it turned into physical eventually. And that, I can't stress enough, like, get as much of, like, the
And
mental and
don't
emotional
be
stuff down.
Afraid to reach out.
Yes.
Don't be
seriously.
afraid to ask for help.
Seriously.
Mm-hmm.
Don't be like me who's super fucking independent
Oh,
and
yeah,
doesn't
I know.
ask for help. I won't.
I didn't either.
I can't, and
Somebody
I won't.
over here was pushing me to do it, and I never did. And then he's like, "Why the hell didn't you do that?" And I'm like, "I don't know."
Well, so
I can do this.
that's gonna
As
be
I'm
the-
breaking down every night at some point. And he's like, "No, you can't." And I'm like, "I got this, yo."
This was also going on during like Deku's
Yeah.
birth, so that
was a lot of extra
That
stuff.
was a lot of extra stuff, and the whole thing with you know, there was a lot of other stuff
There
like
was a lot
that,
of stuff.
which was more big that did not add to it. But that's why I'm saying work on
getting things figured
like
out.
even something like that, even though it's like so big and so huge, work on what I say is like it's out of my control, and as much as it's going to give me anxiety, it's out of my control, and I need to put a stop on it and like not let it affect me. Or if you do, let it be like a grain of sand, not like the entire beach, is what I would say. But yeah, I agree with Peyton. You need to reach out and ask for help. And you got two people here, probably even more, who have been through it.
Yep.
And even if it's just like what we do now when we're
Yep.
on Snapchat and like, I've had a bad day, please just listen to me vent about my bad
and
day.
You know us. It all goes back and forth. If you need to just word dump into the group chat, word dump into the group chat.
That's always one of those things that I have to really work at because I've even growing up, I was always the person who takes everybody else's word dump.
You gotta
But
learn
never
to word
dishes
dump
You
that
gotta
better.
word
back.
dump. Even if there's like
That's
nothing
one of
coming
those things
back.
I still gotta work on.
Yeah. That's what I learned. Even if nothing comes back from it, I've word dump and I still feel better.
Yeah.
Even if
Just like unloading it at us, you know? We're here to listen to you.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it's nothing against them. Literally nothing against them. I
You're bad
struggle
at that.
at word dumping.
I've gotten better within recent years, but I've been where you've been. You'll figure it out.
I word dump to Zach, but
Yeah.
then beyond that, like sometimes if there's like situations like that are happening, I'll word dump to other people and things like that. But like there are times where like I struggle and I know I could probably use support, but I don't tell
Well,
people.
during
and that's the
this,
hard part.
I had to like really figure out who to word dump to. Like because I usually did that and I couldn't. I'm sorry, I'm writing on my notebook that I don't want to give information because there's people who watch this that I don't need to know about who I'm talking about and stuff. But because I had to do that, I had to learn to word dump elsewhere. And this was the one. This was it. That's true, it was. Peyton was the one I word dumped to. And she was really helpful. And I know there was times where I like reached out and word dumped to you. I'm like, I don't need you to say anything. I
just
need you to
say
just
it.
sit here
Yup.
and just let me dump this out. Because the more I hold on to it and more it festers, the worse I'll feel. Because
And that'll make you feel a lot better.
Oh, I mean, it does when I do that kind of stuff. Like, I mean, back when my mother was going through everything with, you know, her last marriage, I word dumped about that a lot.
oh, you did,
Yeah,
you
I
did.
think both of us got
At
that.
Convergence, you'd word dump. See, you know how to word dump. You
I
can
do know how to
it.
do it. It's just like
We
sometimes
believe in you,
like
Caitlin.
it's like those like big things that are like this is just stressing me out that like I could do, but then the smaller things that I'm like, oh well, I should just be able to manage this, even if it's something that I could just word dump and get it
So
out.
I think that I feel that because if I can handle it by myself, I also won't say anything. That's why I don't ask for help. Because I don't want to be an inconvenience.
Yep. And that's kind of my thing too. Like, so there are times where I'm like, I just don't want to inconvenience somebody else. And you've gotta, I've like learned over the years, like I've got to stop being like that.
Because you're not an inconvenience.
No,
But
and ultimately, like,
I
what
know
if
where
somebody
that
else has
thought
solutions
process
that
comes
could
from.
help?
Yeah.
I still have that problem.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
All the
Me
time.
too.
Mm-hmm.
Me too.
Like today. Even yesterday.
Well, I think a
Same
lot of it
problems.
is there's like just this like societal expectation that you should just be able to manage your own problems,
when
and it's
you
like
can't,
that's
there's a
not
lot.
always.
No.
Sometimes you just like
I went
stuff just
through
happens.
a whole medical situation, and I
Yep.
still felt bad for asking help with it.
Mhm.
How's that? I mean,
You didn't
is
ask
it
for help, but
reasonable?
that's why I came and visited you as often as I
Yeah,
did.
I mean, it.
We're like, I'm fine. I'm like, nope, I'm coming to see you.
You know, I mean, it was always like freely offered. I never even asked for it, but I still felt bad receiving it because of societal expectations.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
don't feel that way. You don't have to.
And I feel that way too. A stay-at-home mom, I should have a handle on everything that's going on in my house.
No,
I
I
do
mean,
not.
Just being a mom, not even a stay-at-home mom,
That's true.
has been listed as equivalent to working 2.5 jobs.
I say 3. I say 3.
Well,
I'm
you
a
also have
cook,
two
a
kids, too.
mom, and a house cleaner.
Well, at that point, yeah, like you when you're dealing with being a mom, like part of your whole thing. The cats.
I thought that was Naruto.
No, it
It
was
was
the
not.
cats.
Yeah.
It's Nitro yelling at Cider.
Did he bite your back, Cider? Because it looks like you either got a fuzzy on you or you got saliva on you.
Probably both.
I just want the fuzz on your back. All
You
right.
got a feather.
Hello.
So that's my bird. Those are my wings. I'm growing them.
That's fine. You do you. Be free.
But no,
Ah,
yeah.
I got it. It's a feather.
Nice.
There's always feathers somewhere around this house. I don't know why. We don't have a bird, but there's always a feather.
Pillow?
Probably.
Jacket.
Jacket?
Pillows and jackets, I would not be surprised, but
You don't have like one of those feather toys or anything either? Like on a string or anything?
they're always white feathers, so like
Nice.
something that you get from
It's
a
gotta
pillow
be like
or
a
a
pillow.
jacket.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I would think a pillow.
But
yeah.
no, like postpartum anxiety, you know, it is a thing. Postpartum depression, it is a thing.
Fully expect myself because of how I already get anxiety around like vehicles and things like that. Like that's my worst trigger. I fully expect myself to be like I know we joked about it, but being the mom that's like, are you breathing? For like
I
every
am
like
too.
2
Oh,
minutes.
yeah. Yeah, you don't sleep the
Like-
first month because you're constantly checking like if they're breathing.
Yeah.
I do this. I did this to feel them breathe.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Naruto slept in a bassinet in our room until he was literally busting out of it, and then he just moved to our bed instead of a crib because my anxiety mom brain told me that if I could touch him at any given point in the middle of the night, I could fix it. Even though that's
Which
the
is so
opposite
funny because like
of what
yeah.
everybody tells you. They're like, co-sleeping is going to be a bigger risk factor for SIDS, and my mom brain was like, I have to touch him or I
Yeah.
can't fix anything.
Yeah. I
And
think
our
that's why
room
we
was-
could
yeah.
slept for so long this
Yep.
decade too. Yeah.
I felt like if I couldn't touch him, I couldn't save him, and being in another room wasn't an option for me. And also,
I got better
His-
sleep with I know we talked about
yeah.
it last week, but I got better sleep co-sleeping than him like in the bassinet next to me or anything where I couldn't.
and then like our room where we were at then was too small for something bigger than a bassinet. Like I almost couldn't fit around the bassinet beside the bed sometimes. So there was no way we could put anything bigger for him to sleep
Right.
in.
Oh yeah, you were yeah.
We were in that tiny apartment.
Yeah.
That place was puny.
That was puny.
I loved how bright it was, but
Yeah.
it was puny.
It was puny.
Great light. Poor space. Hello, plant person here. Great light.
Yeah, and then there's my place that just looks dark 24/7 because they don't have proper lighting, and I face north.
I like my house, and it faced west, or no east,
I don't know what direction
which
we
sucks
face.
because then I get stunned.
I don't know what direction we face, but I get good light in the front.
You faced east then. Depends on when do you get good light in the morning or in the evening?
In the morning out the front, in the
Then
evening
you
out the
face
back.
East, 'cause
Okay.
that's where it goes.
Yup.
Rises in the east, suns in the west.
I don't know. I don't know directions.
Yeah, I face northward, so like the sun is never directly shining through
Mm-hmm.
our windows, which is great for like cooling wise in the summer.
But not so great for warming wise.
And we can't really the warming I guess I don't really care too much about because people below us turn their heat up, and there's not much in between the floors.
So you get your own heat from them.
Literally, my landlord told me that all that there is in between the floors is a wooden I-beam. That's it. There's no insulation between them or anything like that, which is why I can hear my downstairs neighbors doing things at times, and I'm sure they can hear me walking.
They could probably hear your cats chasing each other.
Like usually, like if they have music up louder, or
that was
like,
not where my brain went.
Like
Of
if
course
they
it isn't.
slam
Nope,
like
never.
a door. I've never heard them having happy fun time. It's not happening.
I would find that entertaining.
But there's lots of like insulation in between the walls, in between different like apartments.
Just not between
Just
the
not
floors.
between the floors.
I don't
So
know
you
if
get
that's
all
better
of
or
the heat.
Yeah.
worse. I don't know if that's better or worse as
Well,
far as noise.
I'd like to be on the top floor then.
Yeah.
Because even though you get residual noise from downstairs, you're not getting downstairs noise and
Upstairs
noise.
Well, and honestly, it's like none of the noise that does come through has. There's only one time where it's been like super duper loud, and it was when they were having a party, and then they also had their sliding door open to their deck, so then we were hearing that up and through our door too, as well as through the floor. And it's like, but the only time I could hear any of the apartments next to me is if people are out in the hall. Like I can hear them if I stand next to my door and they've done something right next to their door, maybe.
Yeah.
But usually they have to be in the hall, which is how I, got nosy and called the cops on one of my neighbors once.
Yeah,
So,
I mean,
yeah.
I think the only other thing that I can think of that we talked about, other than the probably touching more on the physical, but is that having your partner is a very important,
yeah.
like extremely important, because, I mean, I don't know about.
Well, I mean, we co-slept, or not co-slept, we like shift slept for the first couple months because he cannot wake up. Once he is passed out, he is passed out.
That's so
And then
nice.
I
like
have
jealous.
I have insomnia, so
Me
falling
too.
asleep is horribly hard. So I'm like, it's easier for, but I have like an easier time waking up than he does. Like I could just wake up at a
See,
moment's
that's where you
notice
and I
and
are
then start
different.
rolling out of the bed and going. Like, give me some coffee, I'm good to go. So he would stay up
also not
because
me.
he had an easier time staying up because his natural like shut off time for the day is like 2 a.m. So he'd stay up most of the night, and then I'd wake up, and then I'd take over, and he'd go to bed. So then we would just shift between the two, and if the baby cried, that person would get it.
Yeah.
Especially since, Naruto was better on the formula, it made it easier for that. So between those items, it just ended up being a better situation.
And that's one thing I've prepared myself for, knowing that I'm planning on breastfeeding if possible, is that he will not be like, if it's waking up to feed in the middle of the night, it's me. It will always be me.
Have a schedule and expect it to go off the rails is what I say.
Yeah.
We did
Also,
every 3 hours.
Having backup in your fridge would probably be nice.
See, this is the interesting thing, and this.
Oh, and you gave me that bottle warmer. You can have it back if you want.
I mean,
It's
won't
still,
say no.
it's literally sitting in my cupboard. I still have it. If you want a bottle warmer, you can have a bottle
I recommend,
warmer.
yes.
I would. I've seen
it's not
people
in
say
it,
like
but-
that it's not like absolutely necessary to have, but it's a nice thing to have. And
It
I'm
is
like,
a nice thing to have. I enjoyed having it, and we used it a lot.
We did too. A lot.
So, I mean, it's
better
there
than
for
waiting
you.
there for the water to get warm.
Yeah.
A certain part it wasn't necessary though.
That's
Yeah.
true.
But, for the longest time, we did use it a lot in those first
Well, when
while.
they can't regulate their temperature, you
Well, it
have
helps
to help them.
prevent upset tummy
That
too.
too.
So if it's going in at the same temperature as their stomach, it's easier for them to digest versus giving it to them cold or not
Yeah.
cold. Well, even lukewarm, so
Yeah.
it's still better. So, but my sleep schedule is about the same. I have insomnia, and I'm a night person, so I can stay up super late. So I would stay up till so we did every 3 hours, so 12, 3, 6, 9, whatever. So I would stay up or try to stay up till midnight as much as I can, and then Tyler would take over because I can't roll out of bed and be a conscious human being
Give
I
me
roll
about
out. I'm like
5 minutes, and then I'll be good.
I have to fully finish my coffee before I can comprehend.
I don't know
world around
why.
me.
I mean, I might not be comprehending everything, but I'll be somewhat functional.
Oh no,
I'll be able to get up and I'll be able to change and get ready and go for the day. I'll be able to make a bottle. Don't ask me how I do it. I can roll off of 3 hours of sleep and be just fine.
I can do the bare minimum. I'm running on 4 right now.
Yeah.
And I did the bare minimum. I can be around and help, but that's about it. Until then, if you say anything to me or anything like that, you have a very 80% chance of getting your head bitten off by myself. So that's usually why, and I think my partner's figured that out as much, is don't say anything, just be there, kind of thing. So.
Yeah, I guess in my case right now, and I'm excited to see how this changes because I know that there's a lot of instincts that will change.
Oh, yeah.
And in the lactation class that I took not that long ago, a breastfeeding class, they were like, you'll be surprised how often, you'll just wake up knowing that you need to feed, even before baby wakes up.
True.
But that being said, I currently sleep like the dead. If I will wake up.
What is with this sleeping like the dead? I want to be able to sleep like the dead.
So he
I know, right? That sounds great.
I know.
I kid
Instead,
you
I
not.
sleep better on the couch.
My
when
partner
I'm not
sleeps like a
supposed to
corpse.
be.
He's like this.
Okay,
This is how he sleeps. He doesn't move.
If I fall asleep on the couch, I will sleep better than if I move down to the bed because then I have to lay awake for 10 to 20 minutes just trying to get back sleepy again.
I'm trying to get out of my melatonin addiction, which is taking ages.
If I take melatonin now, I am groggy the entire next day, even if it's just
I had to
the
take it just so I
dose.
can sleep for the insomnia, but then there's been too many things where it's preventing me from sleep because it's just so overwhelmed. I'm like, well, maybe I should stop then.
This is not my problem. I do move in the night, and granted, right now I do wake up to go pee in the middle of the night. That happens a couple times, but generally, there's literally been times where fire alarms were going off. Zach had to wake me up with the fire alarms going off. He had to literally shake me awake.
I've never been more jealous.
Shaking me awake so that we could go out of the apartment for the fire alarms. I still remember as a child, there was one point where there was a tornado warning. The sky outside literally looked green. And my mother was shaking me awake. We gotta go to the basement, Caitlin, get up. So
I am so fucking jealous. I just can't.
That's
I
how
remember the one time I
slept.
thought we had an intruder in the house and I was trying to wake Nick up and he would not move. He was laying there next to me and I heard something coming down the stairs. And I'm like, crap, did we lock the door? Sometimes we forget to lock the door. And I just hear slow footsteps descending down the stairs and I'm like, no. What? And then I hear on the keyboard and I'm like, oh shoot, what's happening? I come out as the cat. It was Nitro. The world's tiniest cat.
And black too, so you can't see.
And I'm just sitting there going, Nick. No,
I'll pretend to be Nick.
He's just there. You can tell he's breathing, but that's it. Didn't even register that it happened until I told him the next morning. And I'm like, God dang, cat.
I think it's my OCD because I have to have everything on my body has to be a certain way. My shirt has to be down, my spandex can't be riding up, my socks have to I have so many mental issues that I can't even sleep.
I can't sleep with socks.
No, I can't sleep with socks.
can't
I sleep
not
better
have
with the
socks on.
window open. Fresh air makes me pass out easier. You know what else really helps? Tea and ice cream. Peppermint tea and ice cream before bed. Don't ask me why, but it works like a charm.
I do alcohol.
I can't have that.
Oh, that's true.
I right now do Unisom.
You have to have the 50 milligram tablet or whatever, right?
No.
Girl, okay, we're gonna have to stop you there because you can't have the gel ones.
Oh, the Unisom stuff that I have right now. They had recommended it to me earlier on when I was experiencing a lot of nausea, doing the B6, and then I do it's like a 25
I got real
milligram.
concerned for half a second.
No. It's a 25 milligram tablet, and I take half of it. So
Good.
I have 12.5 milligrams.
Good.
I'm actually out of my B6 now, and I've been doing great. So I'm like, I'm just probably not going to add that back in.
Yeah.
But like the Unisom, I'm like, I'm going to just use it until it's gone at this point. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, if she comes before it's gone, then that's a different story. But that's highly unlikely because I think I've got like
I ended up
20
stopped taking
tablets
it
or
at the
something?
beginning because I was so scared I was going to be too tired and like
Oh,
passed
I
out
didn't
that I
take
wouldn't be able to
anything.
wake up.
Between work and everything else, I passed out hard during pregnancy, but then afterwards it was a different story.
I just did it to try and help with the nausea,
That's
which
fair, that's
Yeah.
fair.
ultimately, like, it did. And granted, I was tired all the time. I don't know. I guess I can't say how much of that was pregnancy and how much of that was being groggy from the Unisom.
Right.
But now, like, since I'm still taking it, like, I don't really feel like I get groggy at all.
Oh, yeah.
But I've been on it so long that it's like, well, maybe I've adjusted at this point to where it's not like an issue and it's not a concern.
Is that
I don't
boy
know.
even sleeping?
But yeah, it's just like
No,
I
he's
have been
just
taking
sitting
that for
there
a while.
chilling. Yeah, he's not crying. He's just chilling though.
Some independent time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I have just like really bad insomnia, and that's just never gonna go.
Sometimes
I-
I struggle to go to sleep, but once I'm out, I'm out.
Oh no, I'll still wake up.
I'm jealous. I want to be able to like be like my partner. My mom's the same way of just hitting the pillow and passing out. I want to be that way.
Oh no. There are
Not
very
take-
few times in my life where I'm like that,
It
and at
takes
that
me.
point, it's been a lot.
It takes me consciously. Like I know I play on my phone before bed, which you're technically not supposed to do, but I do.
I do
Um,
too. Okay, you
it
know what
takes me
helps me
2
fall
hours.
asleep?
2 hours to fall asleep.
You know what helps me fall asleep? And you're gonna hate me. True crime documentaries.
Oh my god, I couldn't.
Yeah, they help.
I
I
love
fall
them,
asleep
but
to
I can't
Forensic
watch.
Files.
I can't.
Oh, there's a YouTuber that I like, and I watch her sometimes when I really can't sleep. I just watch her until my eyes close, because it's calm and quiet. I mean, yes, there's like dramatic things happening in the story, but it's
After
calm and
my
quiet until then.
experience of listening to your true crime while going to sleep, I'm good.
I listen to, like, I turn on Forensic Files, and Zach kind of hates it at times, not because like I have to have, it has to be people talking. He'll fall asleep to people woodworking, and it's just a bunch of mechanical sounds, and I can't do that. It does not work for me. But like people talking works for me. So I will listen to Forensic Files, and the thing that he will sometimes get annoyed with is it'll take me less time to fall asleep. Like I'll fall asleep within like 5-10 minutes of the episode starting, and it'll just keep playing through it, like shows, like each one. And Zach's like, yeah, I've heard the same episode like 5 times in the last few nights because, you know, she keeps falling asleep and this one keeps ending up playing.
Yeah.
Because I'll just move to the next one so that I'm like, I start hearing like the beginning of a different story each time.
That was really creepy in the hotel room, by the way. I just heard they got cut up with a chainsaw. I'm like, the fuck is going on? I like that stuff. Don't get me wrong. I love true crime. I love, you know, Forensic Files. I love the whole thing.
It'll make me pass out. Don't ask me why, but it
Oh,
works.
I have to
I'm
tell
one of
you,
those
Works
people.
well for me.
I have to get you guys if you guys have Hulu or anything like that, I have to show you the one where my uncle's on it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I know. I didn't have access to it when he was on there, and I was like, I want to see this though.
It's just so good.
I definitely get like, I don't know, sometimes I do get weird dreams, but other than that,
Okay, if I remember my dreams, they are always weird. So I know all of my dreams are weird. It's just whether or not I remember them when I wake up.
So the only way I know I have a good dream or a good night's sleep is the weirdness of my dream. I always remember my dreams. If they are too normal, I didn't sleep well.
Yeah.
The
Terrible
weirder
one.
the dream, the better I sleep.
I had one that I think would be a really good horror book.
Oh God,
I have one.
You're scared.
I can't do any of it.
I know, but it
I'm a
would,
wuss, okay?
it would be really good. I told my mom, and she's like, "You're just briefly telling me a story, and I'm already scared." And I'm like, "I should write this," and she's like, "Yes," and I'm like, "Okay."
Mine's not at that level, but like one of my weirdest dreams was, again, and I think I might have mentioned this previously, but it was at the same time that I had been watching, like, Blood Plus. So it was very much so, like, Blood Plus-esque kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So,
oh, yeah, you mentioned that. Yeah.
So that one is one that I do really remember.
I need to get
But
back
yeah.
into writing. I used to write a lot, but I haven't done that in a long time.
I have a book in my brain that's been writing for a while now. It does have smut in it.
I'm surprised.
In case you were concerned.
Mine does not, but it's creepy.
I can write a scene, like, so I could do like a very very short thing.
Stories.
But like in terms of like
We
long,
should have a writer's day where we just sit and do a writing workshop together.
I think my stuff would suck, but you know. It's
I
So
mean, mine probably isn't going to
I
be
used
that
to
great
write
either.
poetry. Like that's what I used to
I
do.
used to write stories in
I
like high
find
school and
that,
stuff,
like,
but
there's a lot of fae out there. There's a lot of fantasy with like dragons
Mhm.
and vampires and werewolves and stuff. But I have one that's a fantasy that doesn't involve any of that.
Hmm.
How do you guys feel about phoenixes?
Phoenixes, I've seen a couple people do stories on them, and I
Damn.
think they're cool. Like not like a lot. Like it's very small.
I just feel like it's a
But-
very untapped area.
It is comparatively.
my story is fae related, but in a very different form than what you're expecting.
I'd read it.
but still
Yeah.
horror.
It's a creepy fae story, so it's not like
Mm.
we're all pretty high fae. It's like what the hell is happening,
It's
and
like
that's the
little
dream that I
rabbits
had.
came and stole my child in the middle of the
Pretty
night,
much.
kind of.
Ooh.
Oh,
My
okay.
child is not my child.
Oh.
Changeling. Yes,
Oh.
I had a
I
dream
agree
that
with that.
that Naruto was a changeling, and it
Didn't
was
we discuss that he
disturbing.
might be?
I don't know. We might have. I mean, he's got the pointy ear.
That's
At
true.
least they're slightly pointy.
Kachin could
But
be,
my
for all
mom
I
has
know.
slightly pointy ears too, so I mean, it's probably
Maybe your mom's also a
hereditary.
changeling.
I mean,
It's just an entire family of changelings.
Maybe
mhm.
that's why your whole
Welcome.
family has, you know, the abilities they
pointy
have.
Ah,
Peyton has tons of ghost stories.
Oh, I do. I do.
well, my house is haunted.
Yeah,
It's
I
down
know.
in the basement.
Mhm.
He's been
Mine, I don't think is. It doesn't have the feel. That's
Ours
why.
lives in the basement.
Okay, so you know the house has a feel when you know that feeling, right? I determined that I don't think mine is because of the fact
This one?
that this one.
Oh, I don't think so.
Because of the fact that when I heard footsteps coming down the stairs, instead of going, it's a ghost, I went, it's an intruder.
Ah,
Like, I just woke up from sleep. Instant guttural reaction, there's somebody in my house.
did I tell you about the one time where both our kids were asleep and my partner and I were having fun times
I think you
and a
might
ghost came? Okay, so
Yeah.
I'm not going to go to too much in the TMI, but we were about to
Yeah.
get busy.
You were having adult moments.
We were having an adult moment, and all of a sudden, and my partner's not as in tune as I am.
Mhm.
All of a sudden, we both hear, I don't remember if it was a laugh or someone saying hello, but it was a child, and they laughed. I heard a laugh, and it came directly from where our door was. And the only reason I know it's a ghost is because my partner also heard it and turned around. Like, stopped, like, mid-kissing and turned and faced.
Oh no.
And we were like, okay, let's go see if the kids are, you know. Wait, both of them passed out. And I was like, nope. And we both, like, looked at each other, like, I'm done. It's just like
anybody would be done.
Mood
killed-
loss.
Mood loss,
should
because
have-
we're freaked the fuck out.
I know it's a ways away, but I think for fall we should have a scary story episode.
I would have to hold on my scary stories then, because I think I've said most of them.
Well, I mean,
Well,
we
it doesn't
could,
have to be like our particular scary stories.
but we could have like a scary story
Oh.
general episode.
Mhm.
You know,
Mhm.
for spooky season.
Like,
Yeah.
personal ones are just fine,
Just,
so.
I mean, in general, spooky
Yeah.
stories.
One, the other, both, maybe all of it. All of the above.
Well, did you have anything else you wanted about
Yeah,
postpartum?
yes,
So,
we
okay.
We are
well,
on
we are.
tangents today.
yeah, we are, yeah.
Our
We're all
ADHD
before I have to,
collectiveness
because
is
I will have to
showing.
depart, and I'm guessing about 10-ish minutes.
Uh-oh.
So I guess one of the things that I was thinking of and all that, everybody talks, and I know we've kind of all both all briefly talked about it, but everybody talks about wearing like a diaper afterwards, whether you use the hospital ones or you buy them.
I like the hospital
I like
ones.
the hospital ones.
Okay,
Get as many of those.
Mm-hmm.
I still think it's okay to have others.
Yeah,
But
have backups so you don't run out.
But I liked the other ones, and they're not really a diaper. It's like a
It's
gauzy
like a,
panties.
Yeah,
is
it's
what
like
they
a
are.
mesh panty with a really big pad in it. But they were
Oh, mine
surprisingly
we had
comfortable.
to put ours in, but the mesh is amazing.
Yeah,
It
see, because I
was
literally,
so comfy.
while sitting in my car while I was waiting for you guys, I literally ended up watching a video where it was this one lady who was like, these like they're like, it's like wearing like a giant like tank of a diaper thing when you put everything in there. Like I like that person liked the Depends better and doing everything there.
It is a
personal
lot.
preference. But honestly, I thought that the hospital ones were extremely comfortable. I took extras home. I took as many as the nurses would let me, and I lived in those until I couldn't anymore.
I don't know if there's a difference though between like a C-section and like a vaginal birth though either.
You're still going to have
the fact
discharge
that
and you're
you
still
will,
going to have
okay.
bleeding. Because of the fact that even though you didn't have a vaginal birth, they
Gotcha.
cut you open.
Okay.
There's still all that
Gotcha.
gunk.
Gotcha.
So like
And
you're
you still have to
looking
watch
at-
for like
okay.
blood clots and things like
Gotcha.
that. You
I
know?
wasn't sure.
Yep,
Gotcha.
you still
I
got to
will
do
say
all that
from
stuff.
a vaginal point though.
You don't need a peri bottle, but
Oh yeah, you need a peri bottle.
Yes,
if you're
and
doing
I've
that.
definitely heard
And-
general consensus is the Frito Peri one, because then it actually has the nozzle that squirts back up.
I didn't need one, but instead I got sent home with Chlorohex scrub for my
Yeah.
surgical site.
And you know, and quite frankly, you'll want to use the bottle over just doing the normal wiping anyway, because they say like after like
It's like
a
it's
few
basically
days.
you just rather duvet or not or bidet. That's what I was thinking.
Bidet, yeah, it's
I don't
really
know,
all
duvet.
it is.
Duvet.
Jesus.
You're gonna want a bed blanket
You want
cover.
a whole duvet.
A whole
A
duvet.
bidet. You're basically doing like a bidet of it. That's
Because
what
I think it's
I've
after
understood.
like I don't remember. Is it like I think they said it's like 72 hours you have to use the squirt or something. I don't remember, but I used that thing for like a week or two, honestly, just because even the soreness doesn't really go away. And wiping,
Ouch.
I'm more like, okay, you use the bottle and they say just let it air dry. I would do a pat, is what I did. No wiping, but pat. To pat dry, because I don't like feeling moist down there.
That's fair.
So,
I'd
Yeah,
probably
that
end up
sounds
doing the same.
yeah.
Other thing too, I've seen a lot of people talk about buying the pads that have the ice packs in them versus making them themselves with pads.
I've never used them, but that
I
sounds
didn't
awesome.
use them either.
And you know what? I would recommend it because it was so sore that you have to sit like how I'm sitting now, just like this. So,
Well, and thankfully, she's been in the way so much that I generally sit wide-legged.
right.
I've joked early on, like the moment like my uterus started getting bigger, I was like, I'm man-spreading everywhere I sit.
No, you're not man spreading, you're mom spreading.
Yeah, I mean, it's
spreading.
mom spreading at that point.
Mom
But, like, I
spreading.
felt like a dude, because, like, guys always come and they sit down and they've got their legs, like, super spread apart, just like they're, and, like, I get it. You've got organs that hang down in there. They're dangly bits. You don't want to pinch them.
Baby.
But, like, I was like, if I sit with my legs together, granted, I can do it more now because the whole uterus is higher, but, like, if I sat with my legs together, I was like, I feel like I'm crushing my uterus. Like, please. Even now, it's like,
That
it's not
sounds great.
super-
I wish I'd done that, like a cooling pad or like.
I've also seen a bunch of people doing like the witch hazel pads and putting them on top of the cooling pad,
Right.
on top of the regular, whether it's diaper or like you use the hospital stuff. And so essentially you've got this like, somebody likened it to making a sandwich for your vag. They're like, you need your coochie sandwich. And I was like, this is funny. I enjoy that you're presenting it this way. Thank you. Because coochie sandwich, just because it's like she was like, you just slap these witch hazel pads on like they're bologna, and you've got your cooling pad. So
yeah, no, as a C-section mom, I didn't need all of that extra stuff, but definitely still needed
It
the
helps
gauzy stuff.
with
Yeah.
the pressure and the pain down there. I want to say pain. uncomfortability, that padding down there. Not only is it doing its job by catching any of the discharge or anything, but it's padding because everyone thinks it's the upper part of your pelvis, like up here, that hurts. No, sweetheart. It's the lower part, like down here near your butt, is what hurts. So, like, if you're sitting on a bike for too long, or riding a horse for a very long time, that part that hurts, that's what hurts. So the other thing that I only think of that I helped is like a hemorrhoid pillow.
Okay.
Is getting one of those, and that helped a lot. Helped with hemorrhoids too. So.
Yeah, because I've also heard hemorrhoids are very common, but I've never experienced one in my life, so I have no idea what to, like, I know essentially it's varicose veins that are right around your rectum, but
as someone who has hemorrhoids, I haven't actively done anything to prevent it because mine doesn't hurt, but they did get worse with my second pregnancy, and
yeah, I think they said
do
like
flare up.
1 in 6 women will end up having hemorrhoids. So
and they do flare up like a lot. So don't be surprised, and that definitely helped as far as like.
I'm very thankful that thus far I haven't noticed any sort of varicose veins or swelling or anything like that.
So I can't
But I mean, I'm not
there.
Like.
Oh, I've got like right here.
Yeah, I mean, like I take that as a decent sign, not a good sign, because obviously I'm still like early enough.
Didn't show until like the
Sorry,
end.
I did not mean to punch you, Nitro.
Oh, he just saw Cider and was like, "I'm gonna attack her."
I think that's as far as like postpartum, as far as the physical thing. I don't think I can speak on it very much because I never looked super pregnant. I looked overweight. I mean, Peyton can tell me if I'm wrong. Probably not till closer to the end, honestly.
No.
I don't look pregnant when I'm pregnant. I look big.
Well, you've got a slim frame to begin with.
And
I
both
feel
my
like
pregnancies sit closer into me versus like, out there. And I didn't gain too much weight or didn't look like I did. And it left pretty quick after that. I have 2 stretch marks, and the only other stretch marks I actually did were on my boobs. And that was it. They were bad.
I got stretch marks, and I still got a mom tummy. And I'll always have a mom ledge.
This is my stretch mark. Right there. Right there. Those are my stretch marks.
See,
I'm
my
always
stretch
going
marks
to have
are
like
that
a
color
mom
right
ledge now. More so than you would if you didn't have a C-section, because they literally cut me open.
Yeah.
So I'll have like a
You've
little...
got scar tissue.
Yeah.
Excuse me,
like
butthole
this.
stinks.
But, oh girl, do you have a stink booty? Can you take your
It
stink
smells.
booty elsewhere?
Yes.
Go clean your
We love
stank
you.
booty.
Go clean your butt.
But I can't speak on bouncing back physically as far as like the weight
will
and
take
stuff
some
goes.
work.
Yeah, which I figure, which is part of the reason
still
why
working
I'm
on
like,
it 2 years later.
Yeah. Well, and that's kind of why I figure what I will really try to do with myself is go out and do those like stroller walks, because then that gets me up and moving. It will keep me from feeling fresh air for baby, but also keep me from feeling completely isolated
and stagnant.
If you
Find places you
continue
can
with
walk
the
to.
job that you're at, you will that will help too. It's a very active job, so
It is an extremely active job.
it is. So I'm sure that will help too.
Looking job wise, I am looking at not being like fully in like the practice after this, but like it's gonna really depend upon what I can get and where I can get it and what's gonna make the most sense for
We love
for
you
us.
too, stink butt.
So it is what it is. But that was part of my intent. Now I know for the first couple weeks I'm not gonna move from my apartment. It's not happening.
You don't want to.
I will not want to be even if I can go up and down the stairs, like if I don't have a C-section, even if I can, I do not want to be doing that. And I know I will not
just
want
think,
to.
you are going to be carrying baby up and down those stairs at the same time.
Yep.
I moved from my room to the couch, and then couch to the room. So
Thankfully, my room and my couch are on the same floor, so I just have to get up to the apartment, which is going to be really exhausting. So I know that at least for the first few weeks, I will not be moving anywhere like that. That will be where I am. But once I start really wanting to move around, that's part of my intent is to go out and do those walks, because that'll help. Again, I'm not too worried about losing the weight right away. I'm not going to let myself worry about it.
No.
But at the end of the
Give
day,
yourself some time.
it'll help me feel better about life.
The walks helped a lot in just like mental aspect
I was
of
gonna
it.
say, yeah, probably.
You know, the just being outside. I mean, for me at least, you know, I always feel better outside. Like in the summer, that spot out by the front in the, you know, on that porch where that table is, that's where I live. That is my entire like nap break. I'm there sitting and listening to books and crocheting. Or I'll work out outside or what have you. We'll get up, he'll have breakfast, we'll go for a walk, go to the park, come home, have lunch, do some stuff inside, and then he'll go to nap and I'll go back outside. Like that, those are my days.
Yep.
So being able to get outside helped a lot.
Get some good vitamin D, and not the other kind of vitamin D. Actual vitamin D.
Yeah. So I mean that was part of it. I guess one other thing that I was gonna mention, and you probably won't know as much about this, but you were breastfeeding more.
I was.
So a lot of people have mentioned getting silverettes. Did you ever end up getting them?
What are those?
They're essentially little silver nipple caps, and it's supposed to be really healing for you to have those in. One, because then you can't like rub your nipples against things. But two, because of the way that your body reacts to them. Because they're like when you've got really chapped nipples, they'll say you don't need to use any topicals. You can just put those silverettes in.
I've never used the silverettes. I didn't have to use the pads either because I didn't leak. I produced a lot, but I didn't produce enough to leak. You were of a bustier build than I am. Yeah. You will probably leak.
Yeah, which I already kind of plan on getting like the Haka ladybugs just to like, those should be really comfortable. Everything I've read about them is they're super good.
I liked them. My supply died.
Did have to get topicals.
Lanolin, I believe, is the main one that's actually safe for your baby.
That was what I was going to say. You need to double check because there are better ones, but they are not safe for your kid to ingest. Find the ones that are safe for your kid because Lanolin
is the main brand. And it's easy to find. So, you know.
Isn't that the one made by like the Lancino company? Or?
I have no idea. I just know that it's safe and you don't have
the
to
only other thing
worry.
is alternate as much as you can.
Yeah, they specifically in the breastfeeding class I did, they were like, do one boob. It was so funny. They ended up calling the boobs dinner and dessert. They were like, okay, so have baby latch for like dinner, and then if they're like if they're all of a sudden kind of showing signs that they're not really going to suckle anymore, then you can kind of flip them to the other side, see if they do want to have their dessert with the other boob. And then ultimately whatever one they didn't use or used less, you should use on your next.
They probably talked to you about this, but your nipples are going to hurt for the first month. So.
Yeah, they did say like
it doesn't become like that. Chapping happens. It doesn't happen initially, and the only chapping happens is when it's a bad latch. So the other thing is don't be afraid to go and talk to someone.
That was the other thing. They gave us some tips on latching and everything like that.
Most hospitals have a lactation person. I didn't do it with Kachan, but I'm glad I did it with Dakota, and it helped me a lot. My nipples weren't chapped.
I had them come in while I was still there.
Yeah.
I was there for a
while.
while.
I mean, most insurance will cover it because they want it to be done. Like that's what they,
they'd rather you have a fed baby.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, they'll help you one way or the other. But like, most insurance will cover a lactation consultant, which is great because it is a necessary thing to provide.
It is.
So the fact, like, if I had ever heard that insurance didn't cover a lactation consultant, I'd be like, come let me fist fight these insurance companies. Like, boom, boom.
There's a lot of things they don't want to cover anyways, where you're like, dude, really?
I just got
I have so many things to... Yep.
I just got
a tangent on that
I really could.
I'll have to tell you guys later.
But other situations
after I went to the lactation person, though, my nipples weren't chapped for after a week, which was good. So, and they get used to it at that point. And
well, and they kind of explained like how to get the best, positioning so that the nipple is like further in the mouth, so you're unlikely to hurt.
Right.
And they were like, if your nipples hurt while feeding, they're like, you probably don't have a good latch.
Yep.
So they were like, get your finger in the mouth, get them unlatched, and relatch them. If you have to do that 15 times in a single sitting, do it. And then they were like, if you're finding that you're struggling all the time on this latch, get help. Get a one-on-one person.
And
to
have
talk
them
to you.
check baby for lip ties and tongue ties.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Mhm.
the other thing that could happen. It
Yeah.
may not even be you. It may be the latch is so bad because they have a lip or tongue tie.
Mm-hmm.
So.
So, which Zach had, I think, a tongue tie when he was a kid.
And it's
Granted,
so easy. They
he's-
just go in and snip
yeah.
it and it's done.
Yeah. So,
But
you know, it was just, that was one of the other things I was like, I keep hearing about these silverettes, and I'm like,
I never use them. I think just get
it's like
the
a
topical
$40 or
cream.
$50 thing.
Get-
but
I'd get the
Spend your money on
topical cream.
lanolin
Mhm.
first.
Yeah,
Mhm.
do that
And then
first.
decide if you need it.
yeah.
Well, lactation person first.
Yeah.
See if everything is,
Lactation,
have the cream
lanolin,
on hand, have the
and
topical.
then
Mhm.
and then go to there.
Which
Don't
thankfully I
spend
have
your
like
money
the
on it right
cream
away.
and stuff like that in my
Yeah.
baby registry
Get
too.
the cooled pads for.
Oh, there's Lancino makes these heating and cooling pads. They're just kind of like
Yeah.
although
little
they're
bead
bead
ones.
ones.
Yep,
Yeah,
yep.
and they're
That's
just
the ones
little
I had.
rings,
They
so-
were great.
Yeah,
I liked it.
I put that's on my baby registry right now, as well as a little
Let me see
like
if I can
hand
find mine
massager
first.
for your boobs
Let
too.
me see if I can find mine so I can give it to you first.
Okay. They just exist on my registry right now, which honestly I don't think my family sent out any invitations yet. The only reason I think that the one item was purchased off my registry is because I know it was my aunt, and I know she's part of planning my baby shower.
Ah.
So
Fair enough. Fair
yeah,
enough.
because she's also the one donating some of the giveaway gifts for
Nice.
the baby registry.
Nice.
Which, you know, for my mom friends that do like purses, she's my aunt is she's got expensive taste, and she's giving away in this a couple of her Michael Kors purses.
When are we
Oh.
going?
So in April I'll
Gotcha.
confirm with you guys
Yeah.
the date and everything like that, but because I have the date and all that, but
Sweet.
Mhm.
it's in April and
April's
she's
gonna
doing
be
that.
a busy month, man.
Yeah, it's on a Saturday. So I know it's like sometimes people do a host on Sundays, but it's
Yeah.
on a Saturday,
What day?
the 13th.
Bob, what is your thing in April?
Mhm.
My grandma's memorial,
Yeah.
April 7th.
Okay. We're good.
Cool.
I'm good too.
Yeah,
My
because that
anniversary
would
thing's
honestly.
October 22nd, so we're golden.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, originally we were gonna do the weekend before, so that kind of works out that it's not.
Yeah,
Because,
that works out great. Because
well,
otherwise I'd have to skip it and then.
Yeah, we moved it back a weekend because of the fact that some of my mom's like extended family, like a lot of them were gonna be traveling that 1st
Mhm.
weekend in April, so it was like, nah, that's just not a good weekend. So my mom was like, can we move it back? And I was like, at this far out, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
If I work
You
that
got
day or
time.
not, I have time to request it off.
I mean,
And it actually ends
Yeah.
up working out that that's my weekend off anyway. So I would have
and
had to request
also
it
you
the other
hadn't
one.
sent out invitations yet.
Oh, yeah.
So
We
You
made
got
that
time?
decision like beginning of January, I think. So
So,
yeah.
any
Well-
other questions?
No, because I know beyond that fact, like, I mean, a lot of people just talk about having like a bunch of snacks near you,
Yes.
so you don't have to move places
Yes.
all the time.
And water.
And water,
Mhm.
and like if you need drink mixes or whatever, like just kind of pack all your stuff together. These ladies
I
literally-
wished for a butler to bring me coffee
Mhm.
when mine got cold.
Well, I've seen
That
those
was a sad day.
cups nowadays that actually will keep your coffee hot for
I
hours,
didn't have
Oh,
money
yeah.
to spend on that.
which
That'd
is
be
totally
cool.
fair. But one
Our
of these
coffee
things-
pot broke shortly after
Oh, no.
our kiddo was born, and we had to buy a new one.
That's a travesty.
Mhm.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
it was within a day we had a new one.
Yeah,
but
good. Good.
Mhm. necessary.
a necessary thing.
I got-
Nitro.
I got my coffee pot on Walmart clearance one day. Not because my old one wasn't working, just because
It
there was
on
clearance.
yeah.
And it was cheap, and it was a nicer coffee pot. So
Yeah. Some days do be like
yeah.
that.
What do we want to talk about next week?
That's a great question.
We've done eating. We've done postpartum.
Mm-hmm.
What's another mama topic? We need 2 more mama topics.
Mm.
'Cause we've got
I
This
Talk
next
about
week.
diapering.
might have one that me and Peyton I think can both speak on, but only if
yeah.
she's
We need
comfortable
2
about it.
more,
2 more.
mama topics
Mm-hmm.
before we go back to animes. Animonth.
We've kind of briefly mentioned our kids like speech stuff.
Oh yeah.
Do you want to talk about being a mom of kids like that,
Sure.
or stuff like that, and then even potentially even talking about when we were kids or something like that?
Yeah.
We'll do that. not to obviously go into too much medical detail or obviously like
No.
that, but like
But just like your
And different
experience is
reasons
working.
that could be a cause of it, because
Mhm,
we're
mhm.
finding that our kiddo might have just been shy.
Mhm.
You know,
That
that
is
might have
not
been a
the
very
case for
big
mine.
thing. But then also, I don't know, Nick and I are both probably, I mean, he's definitely ADHD. I would not be surprised if I am. There's a lot of communication between the two of us that is just random noises, and I don't think that helped at all.
I think that'd be a good one.
Yeah.
And just
Yeah.
like, how about just even just parenting in general?
Yeah,
Mhm.
just
Yeah.
parenting.
Yeah, we can just.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty obvious.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just do that. Just do parenting.
And as always, if you have ideas, send us ideas
I have not
and
checked the
topics
email,
and things. I
so.
check on occasion because you left it logged in.
Oh, lovely. That's fine.
Yeah,
Well, there you go.
you're welcome.
Cool.
There's usually nothing.
There is. It's usually like Twitch updates and like
Yeah.
random TikToks that come through for some reason.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Okay.
cool. We'll do that.
Sounds good.
Just parenting.
Parenting
And
in
then we
general.
need
One more month of mom.
I can't. Oh, here's my drawing, everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Rip.
Rip.
Toad bait.
Toad bait.
He got put in a toad tank.
He did.
By
Seems
toad
like the only place to put him, really. You know?
I mean, there used to be isopods in there.
It's true.
I don't know what happened to them, but I did release a bunch of isopods in there
They got
at one
8.
point. Probably.
All right. Next
Okay.
week, Tuesday, 2 o'clock.
Zone Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Sunday.
Sunday, 2 o'clock.
Sunday,
Why did I say
2 o'clock.
Tuesday?
Probably because it's at 2 o'clock.
Oh.
Yeah.
2 and 2.
Two
Two.
and two.
2.
Mm-hmm.
Together.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.